action.
Hi Brett, part 4. So here's what we're going to do. We got the ring made. I've got it stitched. This one, it can stretch almost on there. It could probably be just a tiny bit tighter than that, because we're going to see how much this will expand when we put it in water. Have yourself a little pot of warm water, just throw it in there. Let it soak for an hour if you want, and do that. While that's soaking up some water, it's going to stretch for us, and then it will shrink back and actually probably shrink down just a little tighter. What we would want to do on our striker is have a little recess for that 1-inch band or 2-inch band, whatever of leather we're going to put on there, and so that it actually shrinks into that recess. And that, so that would mean we would make it a little tighter than this one. We'd stretch it, getting it wet, slide it on, and then so that it just barely fits on there, and then let it shrink down. Once you have the lengths that you need, they'd be easy to duplicate, and so it would go down in a little groove into your striker and make that happen. While we're doing that, we're going to show you the second way while that's soaking. And we're going to show you the second way, and again I'm going to make a 1-inch strip. I have to make it a hair smaller than that because I'm out of material here on my scrap. So I'll make it just a hair narrower than that. Here we go. Let's see how that looks. That is actually, it's got to come down just a hair more, so let's do it this way. Okay, I'll mark it. And then I'm actually going to move it down just a little bit because I can see I'm missing something in the middle of that. I guess it's okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at 1 inch. I'll just do that. And we'll just leave that scrap out of there. You wouldn't want to make the part like that, but I hate to waste a whole new piece of leather for this one. Okay. All right, here we go. Keep your eye ahead of the blade. And away you go. And there's where I run out of leather. So we won't worry about that right now. That's not going to interfere with what we're going to do. All right, so I got my strip. Now what we want to do, we talked about this this type of scarf joint, it's called, a scarf joint. And I want it longer than that. So I'm going to first cut the scarf over here. And let's see how long we really want it. This one's about a 45, so it's about 1 inch long. And I'm going to make it about 2 inches long on this part. We have a total of how many inches? 8.6. So I'm going to make my scarf 2 inches long. Here we go. It's going to go from here to here. That'll be about a 4-to-1 ratio. Let's try it out. Let's see how that's going to be. So again, I'm using this for a square. I'm going to mark the top point. Mark the cut across for the scarf, and away we go. A little trim up there. All right, that looks good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around our part. This is our glue up. I'm going to have the scarf come up over the top of the other leather. I'm wrapping around my striker. Pull it tight. And mark it. Now that length isn't going to be exactly right because you can see I'm doubled up for part of it. So it's actually going to end up having to be a little bit shorter than what I'm marking. I'm going to try coming up alongside. Just to visualize how much shorter it's going to need to be. Not much. All right, we're going to cut that line just to the inside of it to make it a little bit shorter. And here we go, one more cut. Got to cut a little bit of that tag off the end of it here. It doesn't show right. Good. Here you go. So your scarf joint is going to go here. What this does, the advantage of the scarf joint, is it gives me a long joint that I can glue with my glue along here, rather than just a 1-inch joint butt to butt. So this is gives you a much cleaner joint and stronger joint, and when it's striking, it's going to hit a very small portion of the joint, percentage of the joint when it strikes, and so that should be good. All right, now what kind of glue should we use? I've got to grab a little bit of tape. And I'll see you back in just on part 5.